So it is really helpful to think about sensory development hand in hand with emotional development because in the first 2 years of life, children explore the world through their five senses, but really through their seven senses, because you have to think about how balance and body awareness plays into that as well. It's a vital time as their physical responses to stimulation create emotional responses. And how they navigate and build experience with these responses lays the foundation for how they will navigate emotional response later. So, how does this tie into emotional development? Emotional responses are deeply entwined with the physical responses, and you really need to, as I said, look at the two. For example, and Rebecca, you had alluded to this, like let's just say that a child has a sensitivity to touch and they feel very irritated by the tags on their clothing or where the seam hits their toes in their socks, right? And while not noticed by others around them, they could be inwardly struggling with the frustration of those things. And then all of a sudden, whoa, someone comes and like grabs a toy out of their hand, and their reaction to that may seem disproportionate to the situation, but that's because that frustration was already there, simmering below the surface. So by understanding their what's going on for them from a sensory standpoint, it can give us a lot of insight into what can be going on for them then emotionally. Rebecca, do you see a lot of sensory dysregulation tied to emotional dysregulation in your work as a therapist?
Absolutely. I see it in my work. I see it in my home. I see it at the park. I see it everywhere. Um, and oftentimes what parents view as tantrums with their children are really just moments of sensory overload.